Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've parked up on the edge of a village in Wiltshire called Witchhampton today, and the light, as it has been in the UK for a while now, is pretty terrible. But I've actually bought my infrared camera today for that purpose, and the reason for coming here is even though I've lived in the area, it's taken me about 50 minutes to get here today. I've never actually been to the avenue of trees at Moor Crichel, it's called. I've been to the nearby town or nearby village of Horton, where it's got the Horton Tower, where I took this amazing infrared shot. And I'm certainly probably not going to get that type of shot again, because I think that's fairly unique in that it was a storm front kind of coming in, as you can see by the clouds and the way it was positioned over the tower. I think it's just one of those kind of shots that I'm not going to improve on. But what I did enjoy as well, and I didn't really make full advantage of, was the church in Horton, which was quite an unusual looking church. So if I've got time after looking at the avenue, I'm going to go on to Horton. So when I was researching where to park for Moor Crichel's avenue of trees, it was really difficult to see where there was parking, especially for the vans. So I looked further afield where there might be like a footpath that could take me to the avenue of trees, and I found one which went through this estate. And then I'll put up some b-roll now, and I then happened across this like archway, and I thought, yeah, wow, that would be really good in infrared as well. So I bought the infrared camera, which is the GX1. I bought a tripod as well, so I can keep the ISO low, because that's the problem with my 4/3, is that you do seem to get quite a lot of noise, I find, in my shots. So hopefully on the tripod it should help to reduce the amount of noise. I've also bought as well the 12 to 40 f2.8 lens, and I haven't really used that a lot for infrared photography. I've generally just used the Panasonic 20mm f1.7, so it'd be interesting to get some shots with that to see how well it does with infrared, in terms of whether it's susceptible to the hotspots that you can get with infrared. I looked on Flickr before I came, and there's only really a couple of infrared images of this location. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well the infrared camera does. So I'll put up some b-roll of my trip to the avenue of trees. Hopefully we'll go past some nice scenes that I can take in infrared, and I'll put them up when they arise. So based on that, I have the feeling that even though infrared photography is good with a lot of sun, and probably when it's quite bright and harsh, I think to get the best out of this location, you really need to come back here when the sun is low enough to cast more light onto the road to get more of an interesting composition. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to come and scout out this location, but I think a bit more planning in the future for a return trip is needed, and I'd probably tie it in with an autumn trip later in the year. Onward. So from the footage you've just seen down at Horton, there was 2 issues wrong with the location this time around. The first one, I felt like the sun was in the wrong place. The second issue, which I think is bigger, is the fact that the graveyard has been turned into what they're coining a living farmyard. And I'll put this B-roll up now. I couldn't quite believe it that there was farm animals in around the gravestones, and I haven't got a problem with that. If they want to try that, that's fine. But the problem is, from a photographer's perspective, there was fencing, there was electric wires all over the place. It just made photographing the church really problematic. There's no point at the moment coming back with more favourable light because of the fencing in the graveyard now, which is a real shame, because hopefully you'll see from this B-roll that the church is a beautiful church and very, very unusual. So as you can see, this is Horton Tower behind me. Hopefully you'll probably see as well, the sky is pretty blue today, so none of that stormy weather conditions that I had when I captured this image here. So I think it's been an interesting day. I certainly feel like I scouted out the avenue. I certainly know where I'm going to park if I return in the future and skip out the circular walk that I did and the other villages in the area. And I think as well, I'm not going to rush back to this location due to the problems that I mentioned down at the church, and owing to the fact that I've probably got my best photo that I'm going to get here. Yes, I wish I had my GFX camera with me at the time, so I could have taken a 50 megapixel image rather than a grainy, noisy Micro Four Thirds 16 meg image. But beggars can't be choosers, and to be honest, it's fine. It's fine. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's nice not to just talk about gear, although more of that is on the way after some recent struggles. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.